Welcome viewers to the Founder Talk Show. I'm Major Sunil Shetty. Online education or technology in education is the new normal. Education institutions, students, faculty, and even parents are now comfortable around a hybrid education format that is a blend of online and offline learning. Today, my guest is someone who has turned his own failing startup and rebuilt it into a $13 million or say 10 crores edutech company. Uh, my guest is Ujjwal Singh, founder and CEO of Infinite Learning. He joins me today on the show. Welcome, Ujjwal. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Major. Thank you for inviting. It's a privilege to talk to you and talk to your guests.
Ujjwal, just before the show, we were talking about how it is difficult and a journey of an entrepreneur. He or she knows the pains and pain points. I know it's been a long time away when long time back when you started your own entrepreneurial journey, which you turned a failing startup into a successful one, exited there. Today you're part of Infinity Learning. Before we get into Infinity Learning, I just want to get your thoughts on what it is to be an entrepreneur in a time when the ecosystem wasn't there, you know, where people understood what startup was, why would they invest in somebody's ideas? We're talking about a decade and a half back. Just share with us that part of the journey.
Very interesting because I was working in a social enterprise and we did a fundraise, and that instigated a thought that if I can go ahead and do little fundraise for somebody else, can I also do it myself? And I started sharing this idea with friends and family. I think entrepreneurship is not individual. A lot of people see entrepreneurs as one single name. Apart from co-founders, I think there's a huge value which families bring. Preparing the family for an entrepreneurship, because if you're in a job, you have a fixed salary coming every month, and preparing for entrepreneurship itself is a very strange journey. Uh, and letting go of a cushy job, letting go of saying that okay, tomorrow morning I won't have a salary, but actually I have to invest from my savings to start something new, is a mind shift. And if the in my view, if the family is not involved in that process of thinking, then most of the people get tired faster or come under the pressure and then say, let me go back to the job. I think if anybody comes to me, I said, first bring your friends and family on your side that you're planning to do this. Plan it for 5-6 months. I did that. I had young kids then, so I thought my personal aspiration should not impact the day-to-day living of my family members.
How important was it to have co-founders and your backers who were themselves from a education background, who themselves have built over 3-4 decades education within India and are a known brand in India?
Very important. I am a great fan of a book called Good to Great, Jim Collins' book. And I had a lot of initial conflict when I read that chapter, first who, then what. But I learned this 10 years back working with people, is that everything else can be acquired, but the willingness, the passion can't be acquired. So skill sets can be acquired. So I got very good set of people, and who is very important. Good set of people whom you can trust, bank, and whom you should enjoy working with. It should not be stressful and I'm unable to say what I feel, or the person is not able to say what he feels. I think that got a huge amount of backing. Once that camaraderie is there, once that bonding is there, passion is common, I think life is far easier. Success and failure is all could be different, but at least that journey is very interesting.
Tell us about coming to Infinity Learning. How did this whole idea about Infinity Learning platform itself came about, and what is it what is it into?
So, give and take, India has more than 6,000-7,000 edtechs. And I was with Pearson at a global product head level. Uh, I was I was looking at learning at a very close counters. Not to boast, but I've been inside schools for most of the continents in this world. So I've been inside schools in US, UK, Brazil, Mexico, China, South Africa. I don't know, Dubai. So I've seen schooling very closely, and inside when they were, inside the temple where the actual teaching learning happens, and I've sat inside the classrooms. And then ethics came in, and a lot of ethics, and I've been doing edtech before edtech was there. 2002 I was working with Hughes, and we first time connected colleges and got education in a decentralized format in centers. But I think the question for all of us when we were thinking about Infinity Learn is that what's so unique, what's so different? There are so many of the edtechs there. How are you going to be doing anything different than what is happening? And one thing which we said, it's not about teaching, it's about learning. So teacher doing a class and saying, I taught, whether the learning happened or not is not my responsibility. I think that's the critical factor which as a society we have to come together and think. And then long back, I learned that learning means when the change has happened. So we have moved from point A to point B, learning has happened. How are we tracking that? How are we ensuring that learning is actually happening inside the classroom when the teacher is teaching, and it is not again that a radio mode of teaching is coming back, saying that, oh, one person is saying something, a lot of people are listening, but actually what has happened, we don't know. One of the cliches which I use usually is that, medical science moved far ahead of education, maybe 18th century towards the end, early 19th century, when they first got to say that with a drop of blood, they will tell about all the things which is right and wrong about the human body. We take so many tests in education system. We are still so much unaware about how a child is thinking. And I think a lifetime can go to help build something which can help the learner know themselves better. And that's the intent of Infinity Learn, is to say that how can I make the learner intelligent, give him an insight where at a faster pace he can learn something better. That's what Infinity Learn's core thought process, the ethos, saying that let's keep learner at the center, not teaching at the center, learning at the center, and whatever it takes for make him learn, let's do that.
And finding talent, from grade 12 is where you're also concentrating on, isn't it?
Well, thank you so much for asking this question. By the time you are in grade 11, 12, the larger formation has been done. What is our thought process? Why look at, and we want to go to grade 1 and 2 as well, but we don't have that level of bandwidth yet. But maybe next few months we will definitely go at 1 and 2. Let me give you a reasoning why we do at early stage. There are 5 skills which makes a human being ready for 21st century. And sometimes we think that these skills are developed later on, but these skills are developed quite early. So logical, how logical are we or not? And I'll tell you how math and coding helps logic. So when we look at this subject, beneath the subject is a skill. And that is what we are trying to find out. When we talk to a 3rd grade student, we don't try to find out that how good is he in math. We're trying to find out where is he on logical reasoning and how can we help him. The second skill is inquiry, which is coming from science. So this thought process is that, is he inquisitive enough? And he might not be inquisitive on something which we want to teach him. Don't worry. Where is he inquisitive? Because if you look at the skills and then you relate to the environment or the society around, you say, yeah, all this is required. If you're going from destination A to destination B, You need to be logical that what route I take. You need to be inquisitive that, oh, there is a traffic to a route or not. The third skill is memory. There's a lot of times, a lot of people keep bashing, that, oh, people are memorizing, Indians know tables, but memory is a skill. Memorizing is a skill, and we should focus. Indian students have done very well globally because of one of the skills, which is memory, and we should not let go as an Indian society. The fourth is language, I think, uh, which is the realm of whether English or Hindi or any other languages which you want to learn. And the fifth thing is the mental health, which is now getting talked about every now and then, and we are continuously thinking that how do we incorporate that into a learning process, so that a lot of people think that, oh, pressure is bad. Pressure, or good or bad, depends on how you take it. Somebody who wants to play at a national level cricket and go for represent India, he must be practicing 8 to 10 hours minimum. Is that pressure good or bad? If I enjoy doing that, that's not a bad pressure. If I don't enjoy doing that and then I do that, then definitely it's a bad pressure. But if you have to prepare for something which is really competitive in nature, then you have to work around and say that how can I prepare for that, and how do I build the mental health for that? I think that's the objective of working with younger classes, and say, let's look at skills. Let's not look at subjects and say, I will make you better in math, but can I make you better in logical reasoning? Can I make you better in inquisitive skills? That's the objective. And finding talent in those areas.
So, as you rightly brought out, talent need not be, great. Finding talent at the very early is critical. Now, talent may not be limited to just one or two streams, isn't it? Like why I bring this question is, infinite learning is currently focused on NEET and JEE, which is basically a certain fixed streams. So going forward, do you think uh, you would also be opening up other streams where the talent that you come across, probably in arts, probably humanities, they also get channelized or get your support?
So any startup will take certain things to start prioritizing, and we look at our own skill sets and where we can do better. But our larger objective is that we are a K-12 player. We want to not segregate and say STEM is good and arts or humanities or economics is not requiring our help. We will like to build skills in everywhere, but our first objective is that can we make the learner to learn? If you make anybody learn, then all the other smaller problems are easier to solve, because then wherever he is trying to learn today, yes, we are doing a lot of work on NEET and JEE, but as we grow and we start working on 6th to 10th and then grade 1 to 5, our primary objective is to say, how do I help the learner to become a self learner? The less dependent learner they are, the more they're inquisitive about multiple other aspects of learning. When you are learning science and you don't go to JEE, that is not the start and end. You can go to Indian Institute of Science, and you can go to a lot of other institutes in due course of time, where you can foster your passion for science, or foster your passion for economics, or foster your passion for commerce or arts or anything for that matter.
Coming to the current times, Infinity Learn is in a space which is already crowded. How are you different to the other players who are emerging and already there?
So I don't think we think from competition point of view so much. I'm sorry to say, but we continuously think, business is done for eternity. Business is not something which is start and a 90-minute football match which will end after 90 minutes. So we're not looking at that, oh, we have to become very successful tomorrow morning on the parameters of somebody else deciding. What we have set parameters and what goals we have set. Let's keep learning at the center. Let's keep learner at the center. If we do good job, the learners will start coming to us. As the learners will start coming to us, we have to continuously stay core to our ethos that we are not another education company who is going inside in front of the classrooms and just saying something and teaching without thinking whether learners have learned or not. You do a good job. It might be a little late, little early, or whatever way the market will respond. We are not worried for that. We have taken a very, as of now, our success is really, really good. Major, given chance, we can talk about that. But uh, we are not going to be too overawed with the success or too underplay because of some places we are not doing good, or we are making some mistakes. We'll stay on course, keep the learning at the center, and we will continue in that path, uh, and market will automatically recognize us for good work.
So Ujjwal, you are making a mention of, the success that Infinity Learn has had, since you started. We would like to understand a bit as to what has led to that success and what has been, what has been the success so far.
What has led to the success is two
Yes.
factors. I think we have built a fantastic team. Without a very good team, uh, no success can come. I think people who came and joined us believed in the passion, believed in the journey which we were crafting. Uh, and we formally launched 24th of June 2021. If you give and take, we are like 8 months old in the system. Uh, but very good set of people came and joined us. We are now almost 300 plus people, and we like a family. Um, can't tell you how much fun uh, is to work with uh, people who have come from all spheres. We didn't look for people only from medtech. We looked at people from banking, insurance, multi-sector, so that we can bring in a lot of perspective of which word we use is learner, but other industries might use a consumer or customer. Um, we were looking for passionate people for that segment. Second, success came because I think our management is very, very supportive of fail fast, learn, and then make make something big. We create a safety net in the organization for younger people to come, try new ideas, and at a frugal cost, try doing something, and that gives a lot of independence of working for the younger talent, but also for us to innovate something new. You asked what is success.
Sorry.
We got a million people come and subscribe with us. I think that's the first intent, to say that okay, we are looking at this company, and if you look for edtechs, how many edtechs have a million subscriber in first 6 months or 7 months, you will say okay, we might rank in top 10. We got 100,000 learners came and started learning with us, and when I say learning with us means they paid some money and they see a value in our products and services, and they join hands. Uh, I think these are the two biggest things. We solve almost 5,000 questions every day. So we have a doubt solutions. We solve almost 5,000 questions every day. We have 100,000 minutes of learning happening on our platform for the live class. I think that shows an intent that learners wants to come, they want to be with us, they're enjoying what we are doing. But more than that, I think we were doing PTMs, parent teacher meetings, recently, and that's the proof of the pudding. End of the day, whatever these numbers will speak is one side, but when proof of the pudding is when the parents start saying. And when we started showing the report card and said that, your child is doing very good, just need minute, which I was giving an example of blood report, and say that you need to provide an insight by not saying that, oh, your child got 78 out of 100, but to say that which all areas did he lose marks and how can we help together. So making the parent as a partner in this whole journey for learning, and say, how can we help the child because he has the potential to do very well. I think that, I would say, last 1 month has brought so much of happiness to us, because our discussions with parents and mothers and the worries for any parent is almost the same. That is my child working? Is he learning? Does he join the class? When he joins the class, is he engaged or not engaged? How is he doing inside the class? I think we brought a lot of insight to them on engagement. We brought insight on how he's doing, where is he doing very well, where is he need improvement. I would call that as a great success for us.
And well, that is also showing in the the awards you've been winning. The latest being the best teaching, testing and assessment solution of the year award.
Yeah.
When you look at your Infinity Learn, how are you different? What are you doing different as compared to the other platforms out there? Because all of them are online. It's an edutech. Pretty much this we're covering the same subject. The subjects. So what is that you're doing different when it comes to teaching, imparting? As you rightly said, is learning.
I think because of our past experience, we understand that how teaching and learning happens. The first thing we said that in an online teaching, you need a little different pedagogy of teaching. And the pedagogy of teaching means that when the teacher is in front of the class, the way he controls the class, and when the teacher is sitting on a digital platform and he is managing the class, you need to do the basic things differently. So we said, okay, what is the pedagogy of teaching which we will use? Is that the first thing which we do is finding out, and we call it assessment. So first thing is assess the learner, where the learner is, and then start the learning process rather than go to a class and start the learning. Yeah. Once you have assessed the learner, we know the strengths and weaknesses of the learner. We bring the conceptual learning, actually learning, through a live class. Once you have done the live class, you provide him a support when he is back, not inside the class, and we call it ask, where the teacher and the student can stay engaged. The student can ask the question at any point of time, and we answer him, we support him. We don't just answer him, we provide him a stepwise answer so that he is self-learning also. And finally, you have to leave him alone for some time to stay with the content, stay with the practice, so that has he understood, has he learned or not? And then we track him at the back, is that what is his performance? How is he doing? Is he able to attempt the question right or wrong? And then bring it back. So it's a very, spirally circular process through which you assess, you make them go through the live class, you help them through ask, which is the doubt. And finally, you help them self-learn, which is the assimilation where the knowledge is getting formed inside the child. And then he comes back again on the assessment next day. And that 4-step process helps us to make us unique. As of now, it is really helping us to say, how can we engage with the student?
Well, that's interesting that there is this customized or targeted or individual attention. But you also said you have about 100,000 learners online. So how are you managing this? Because this is a huge number you're talking about, where individual student gets where you assess individual student and work around them, and 100,000 is a big number.
This is a distributed class, not that they have to be in one class. And again, we are a data-driven company. We're largely driving it to say that how do you find out where the learner is, and then start cohorting them. Like, I'm going to give you a small example. When you start teaching grade 1, 2, 3, say if you have to do an addition called 18 plus 12, 99%, the answer is 210. You will say why? But the child adds 8 plus 2, 10, and 2 plus 2, 1 plus 1, 2, 210. Because the concept of carry has not come. Now you understand that this is the biggest misconception or the mistake which the learners do. Now, over the years of teaching has taught us that, okay, these are the various kinds of mistakes children do and we actually give those into 4 options. And when they select 210, we know that, okay, he does not know the concept of carry. You cohort those students and you create a special class for them. And that's how you create, you find learners who have similar kind of need improvement areas. You bring them together, you teach them, then you send them back to their batches. And that helps us a lot to say that how can you bring the learning faster. You don't have to, because in every class there are some learners who are ahead of the class, some learners who are behind the class. Now, if you start teaching for the median of the class, those who are ahead of the class, they don't enjoy being inside the class. So you have to create cohorts, increase the learning faster, and then bring them back to the same batches. And that has always helped in the online learning environment better than offline, because in offline doing that is a very difficult thing, but in online doing that is far easier.
Well, as a parent, that's a very reassuring thing that erratic platform like yours are kind of going on that path where individual attentions are given and problem is settled. Finally, Ujjwal, My TV is a channel for startups and entrepreneurs like you. Uh, what are your thoughts about what we're doing as a channel?
I think you guys are doing a great job, because when a company start, they need a little support for making it reach to a larger audience, to say that how they are different, what they are doing, how can their voice can be reached out to many people. And with my startup TV, I think you have taken a great initiative to ensure that as a founder, how you are helping other founders to make your audience know about multiple things which is happening around the society. And I think this is a noble cause beyond entrepreneurship and business. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ujjwal. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you on some of our panel discussions around education and edutech. Thank you for joining.
Really appreciate. Thank you for your time, and thank you for interviewing. Thank you.
Thank you.